Sweets are sort of another new concept for me coming from close to my heart. We kind of had this when we had specials where we would have a stamp set and maybe a die and some embellishments and paper. But in general, those were really in the specials and not necessarily kind of the way we thought about the product lines that we had close to my heart. Probably the closest thing that we might have had was the card making workshops where you got the stamp and the die that was specific for that particular card workshop. And you would have embellishments and obviously the paper and the cards. But suites are kind of different on the Stampin' Up side. There are suites that are launched with every catalog, every annual catalog. Again, I'm not sure that they launched them with the mini catalog since I haven't been around long enough to know exactly if they only put bundles in the mini catalogs or if they put actual suites. But these suites run all year long. That is one of the things I like as a business person, that these suites are going to be available for the whole year of this catalog, which makes it a lot easier for me to create and to make sure that my customers get value out of the purchases that they make, that it's not done in a couple of months and we're moving on to something else. So I can use these papers and these suites in lots of different projects and lots of different ways to show how you can use the stamps and the dies and the papers in your creations in multiple different ways, which is really, really beneficial for you as the customer and for me as a business person, because then I can create over the course of the year and not feel rushed to create something that maybe I'm not ready to create with, or that I don't have any inspiration for at the moment, which does happen frequently. All right, so how do suites work? Suites are, again, a collection of products that go together. And in the catalog, you're going to have a QR code up here in the upper left-hand corner that will take you to the artwork and take you to this suite collection on the website. And there's different things that are going to be in different collections. The Mediterranean Blooms has a stamp, die, these embellishments, and then the paper collections. The paper collections, again, in Stampin' Up! World are, there's a lot more papers. We were used to 6 papers. We get 12 sheets of paper in the Stampin' Up! World. So it's a lot more paper than we're used to. At this, and it's not a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of, that you're getting more sheets of paper in this. So the bundles are, I'm not going to lie, they're a little bit pricey, right? This bundle, this suite, I shouldn't call it a bundle because there are some things called bundles. This suite, if you buy this whole suite collection, is going to be $83 US. Okay. You can buy the things individually, but when you buy it as the Citrus Blooms bundle, as they call it, you get a 10% discount. Oh, sorry, no, that's the blooms. That's the dies and stamp sets. If you buy the whole suite, I don't know if there's a discount. Sorry. I don't know if there's a discount off of the suite completely. It's I can't remember for sure on that one, so I apologize if I spoke wrong there. But again, they have a number of different suites. The Take to the Sky suite, again, has the stamp thin cut and some embellishments in the paper. And what they're doing is they're just putting these together to make it easier for you to buy, so that you know how the designers were thinking about these collections and how they're marrying the papers to the different stamps, dies, and in this case, there's an embossing folder, right? So this has a few more items in it than the other two that I flipped through. Again, this one has got ribbon, as well as embellishments, and this is a 6x6 paper. So that's the other thing that you want to be looking at when you're looking at these, is what is the size of the paper. It's going to tell you on these pages, this is 12x12 paper. This is 6x6 paper. So again, that's something that we're not necessarily used to in the close to my heart world, is that there's different size papers. There's 8.5x11. I don't think I mentioned that in the paper section. There's 8.5x11. There's 12x12, and there's 6x6. So again, you need to spend some time reading, whether you're on the website or on the catalog, to see what size papers there are. Again, this is a 6x6 paper set, but with a Stampin' thin cut. This one is a designers. This one has both 12x12 and 6x6. So I believe this is the 12x12, this specialty paper here, and this paper down here is 6x6. So again, like I said, you really need to sort of read the details. But again, it's trying to give you these collections in as a way for you to see how things pair together. This is one of the bigger collections. It's got 2 stamp sets, 2 die sets. It's got an embossing folder, and then it's got 2 paper packs. And so it is definitely on the pricier side, but you can certainly break this down into smaller chunks if you don't want to necessarily put the full collection on one order. And then the Unbounded Beauty is again two stamps and die sets and some specialty glimmer paper, as well as the 12x12 paper. Again, this is featuring all of the end colors. So, and then most of these stamp sets also will be reflected in the bundles section as well. So you can bundle these together and get a discount if you just want to buy the stamp and die together. So that's another option. All right, so I think that covers most of the information that you need to know about Sweet. All right, so tools are important. They're all part of making crafting easier and helping us create these beautiful pieces of art that we want to give out to our friends and family, or to capture our memories. So on page 16 and 17, there's a set of sort of basic tools that we've talked through. A lot of these, but I'm going to just mention a couple of other ones here that we haven't talked about. There are scissors. Again, like to be open and honest, I'm not going to buy these. They may be great scissors, but they're not Teflon coated. And so I am going to stick with my close to my heart stickers, or close to my heart scissors, because they're Teflon coated, and I cut a lot of tape, foam tape or other types of tape, and they're just, to me, I want the Teflon coating. I don't want to have to spend a lot of time cleaning my scissors every couple of weeks. So even though these scissors are probably wonderful, for me, that's not something that I'm necessarily going to spend my money on right now. I'm hoping that they come out with some Teflon coated scissors, and then I'll be happy to recommend them. It is a suggestion that I did put in to corporate. The Simply Chamois is, again, a stamp chamois. Probably wonderful, but I have a bunch of stamp chamois from Close to My Heart, and I don't feel like I need to buy that. But if you are new to stamping and you are trying to build up the items, the tools that you need, a chamois is one of the things that you do need to clean your stamps. So I would highly recommend that. There's also another option that is the stamp cleaner and Stampin' Scrub. I do love these, and I have an old version of this from Close to My Heart. This one I definitely might go ahead and do for a deep cleaning of my stamps, because I really like the idea of scrubbing them on this Stampin' Scrub plate. So again, that's something that that I probably will look at in the future. So let's pull in again some tools that we've seen or that we've talked about already that I do have, so that you can see sort of that collection. So this is the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. I did go ahead and get this to work with. I'm still getting used to it. It is so far it's a pretty decent trimmer, but I have lots of different trimmers and I like all of them for various different reasons. But this one certainly is lightweight. And I do love that it's got this nice arm extension here that locks into place, and it has it's fairly sturdy. It doesn't wiggle too much, so I do like that. And it does come with a scoring blade and a cutting blade. So so far this is pretty good. I'm getting pretty straight cuts with it, so I'm pretty happy with that compared to my Fiskars. The Fiskars that I used to use, they've discontinued. So this was sort of the perfect timing for me to try out a new trimmer. Again, we talked about the blending pens as a tool. We talked about the water brushes or water painters as tools. There's the take your pick tool, which is a multi-purpose tool that's got ends that have a spatula and a pokey tool. And then on the other end, you've got a pickup tool. Oops, this has popped out a bunch of adhesive there to pick up all those embellishments. And then there is some more attachments. There's an attachment to create perforations and a couple of other attachments that you can get to use with this as well. I've got a bone folder, and then this is a piercing mat. And this was recommended to me by somebody who said, if you're working with solid stamps, the piercing mat is helpful to make sure you get a solid impression. I find this is too thick. It's too, the thickness of this is kind of impedes me a lot from using it. And so far I've been okay with the impression I've gotten with the solid stamps versus the line stamps without having it. So I'm not sure that I would necessarily say that I needed this per se, but I did give it a try. I probably, if I want more padding, will use the back of my Versamat instead. And continue to use these Versamats. There is a new, there's going to be the glass mat that's going to be released on July 1st. That was part of a special that was run earlier this past year that they are releasing. And it's going to be available for customers as well. And I'm thinking I might get that, but we will see. We will see.